Hello. Hi. I'm here with
Gabe.
Hello. This seems like a YouTube collab, but it's
not. I'm not a YouTuber.
Okay, so we recently had, I would say it was an act of homophobia, full out. Yeah, we had that happen, and I was just gonna tweet about it, but I decided to make a whole entire video because I realized...
We're shook.
Yeah, to be really honest.
We're shook.
I have a lot of young LGBT followers or even people with friends, etc. that follow me, and I think it's gonna be a very proactive conversation, and I hope no one goes through this every day because oh man, that was crazy. I started crying. I just remembered that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I cried.
I'm still kind of shaking
wow.
from it, to be honest.
Yeah. But anyways, hello, hi. I didn't want to make a tweet about it and I wanted to do a full video. I'm filming on my phone. We've been very passionate about this and talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
And as two people that are both in the community, we have conversations about this all the time, but we're also both babies, quote unquote, and hadn't really had someone be so bluntly mean to our face before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me like that in public before.
No.
Definitely.
No.
We were full out yelled at.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, that was scary. Disclaimer, a very important point I want to make is that if someone's uneducated, I don't hate them. We don't hate this person. We want to take what happened to us and explain how we felt and
just expand on what we've been talking about for the past couple hours, just about the general...
How it's still, it's easy to see people online in a very accepted space, in a very accepted environment, and it's easy to forget that
Yeah, because we're from LA.
We still have so much to do, yeah.
We're in such a bubble,
Yeah, and so that you also realize, this is just something that happened, even with me, but a lot of people are oh my god, it seems like it was so easy, but there's so many kids, of all different identities and so on that are still struggling, and it's there's still steps to be made.
It's true.
It's true.
I know.
Send this to a friend that could need it, and I don't normally make videos like this, but I don't know, let me know if you want more. I'm really feeling this. I don't know, because I've obviously made personal videos about personal subjects, but never so candidly in the moment, this is what happened, but we're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
So
we've been talking about it for the past couple hours, I feel like.
Yeah. After it happened, it was we couldn't stop talking about it for
we were
2 hours.
We were honestly just confused. We were did that really just happen?
Yeah.
In Hawaii,
that was
on our vacation.
Biggest, yeah.
I forget.
Okay. Well, let's get into the story.
Let's get into it.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
Okay, so we were out for our morning coffee.
Coffee.
Yes, we were. We sat down, as we usually do.
Coffee. I got the Hawaiian honey latte.
Mm-hmm. Disclaimer, kind of. But we, always, I guess, talk about, just sort of...
being a part
LGBT
of the community.
topics. Yeah. Our conversation this morning started with, I think I saw the Shawn Mendes article about how he, came out to Rolling Stone as being, straight.
Right.
And how he, didn't appreciate, people not accepting him for that.
And we were talking about just the idea of assuming someone's sexuality based off of an image you get of them, and just how toxic stereotypes are and things like that. And
a classic Jessie and Gabe conversation.
Yeah,
I feel we talk about this kind of stuff all the time.
It was a very intelligent conversation. We were both talking also just about how we both create, and we both also create for a demographic, I guess, oh my god, there's a really big bug. Did you see that? He was oh no, that mother was too homophobic to them already, gonna leave them be.
Literally.
We've been also kind of making jokes. We went hiking, and my phone randomly adds rainbows to my photos, and I was
Naturally.
I bless upon thee and the gays. We were and I didn't get bit by any mosquitoes. I was I bet she did. She didn't bless upon the gays.
I got attacked, so I guess I'm not worthy.
You just had to bless upon the gays.
I know, yes. She had to bless me first, yes.
But then I did.
Once
and then
the rainbow started showing up, the bugs went away.
Exactly. Yeah, so basically, we were talking about people that choose to... We both create, and with our creating, we also kind of intertwine our identities, I would say, because it's a big part of ourselves, and we choose to
and we just make
express that
things for we're very inclusive with who we are trying to create for.
Exactly, for anyone. Exactly. Yeah, just accept, acceptance, all that. But
I forget that there's people in the world that aren't accepting.
I literally, I did, especially because, I also talked about this with him, but I'm, so fortunate that I feel I have a really nice like all my people that watch my videos are actually so genuinely nice, like just like to me, to each other, to my friends, like so supportive of my friends too. Like it's, I don't know, like it makes me proud. But anyways, side tangent. But we're sitting down. Good fandom. We were like sitting down. We were talking about representation.
That led into
us talking about
Connor, because you said that Connor made a video.
I was talking about how Connor Franta made a video, and then we were just in general talking about like somehow we got
people
to
that do stuff for the community. Like we were just talking about like how like there's so many great outlets and like so many great people online that spread positivity and like inclusiveness.
Yeah, we were just talking about people. We were talking about how certain people choose to talk about it on their platform and certain people don't, and how like that's okay. And you know, it's so cool to see even like great allies speak up. And we were talking about how like the Imagine Dragons singer has gone into it a lot this year, and
basically just like shouting out all of the like
it's just about representation in the
LGBT community.
Literally. And we were just
and nothing like even remotely inappropriate or like
the closest thing that could have been was he talked about how like a guy texted him, and I was like, is it like that?
A boy texted me.
And
I was like, nah, like I'm not, I used to be into him, but I'm not anymore. Like it was like,
and that was it. Yeah, I noticed her starting to get like frazzled, and she kept like
because this whole meanwhile this whole time while we're talking, like while we're having our educated discussion over coffee, she was getting super frazzled. I didn't actually even see this because she was like, we were at a table right here, and then she was on over here, and so Jessie could see her diagonally, but I couldn't see her out of my peripherals. And like she was just, apparently she was getting upset. Just like our whole conversation, we were literally talking about like,
it was such a mature conversation. Like we were just talking, I was talking about it with him, but like I literally am like genuinely like so innocent. I never like talk about, I feel like I'm like I'm pretty appropriate. Like I don't know. Like I'm literally like, I would say one of the most like clean 19-year-olds I know, and like most innocent.
Yeah. Well, I think the point of that is just when things started taking a turn, like you were saying, she was already like upset when we were talking about just like general LGBT topics, but then as soon as it like was about us, like as soon as I was like, oh, this guy texted me, like he's super cute, like I used to be into him, not anymore. And like as soon as that happened, then she started being like much more vocal and like just like making vocal, like just, it was like honestly so bizarre. Like I kind of blacked out a little bit just because she's like grabbing things and like being like super aggressive,
very
and
like aggressively grabbing things.
And like I didn't even at the time realize that it was like about us. Like I thought that she was like upset with
she
her
like
kids
saw
or something.
like a bug or something.
I was literally so confused. And then
we were like so engaged in our own personal conversation, and we're not very loud people, and like we were just talking about how like we appreciate representation. And then I think this is when it like escalated, quote unquote. So we talked about the guy, and then I was like, I went back to the conversation we were talking about before, and I was like, you know, one of my friends is like really underrepresented. Like she totally does not get the representation she deserves. Like she always gets demonetized for LGBT videos, but she is so incredible, and I feel like she's helping out so many people. Like literally, like I can with confidence fully say that like it was a very intelligent conversation between the two of us. And if we made that conversation heteronormative, then like I feel like wouldn't have been an issue.
We've heard some wild conversations on this island. Like
we
heard like people talking about like drugs and like sex and like all that stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed. Like, but like straight up like it was nothing out of the ordinary other than it was for a different community. Like that it wasn't hetero. Like that's literally the only difference our conversation was between anyone else that was like
after this happened to us, I started listening to other people's conversations. No, like that sounds so weird.
Well, because I had noticed it a couple times and she hadn't noticed it before. Because after like one of our discussions was just like
some
people,
crazy conversations on this island.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay. Wait. We just have to like continue telling the story. So the woman had children. This was like her whole reason for getting
mad,
upset. So that's when I was like, oh no, I've like heard so many like child friendly conversations, like ours wasn't even in slightly, and we were like having a conversation over coffee. Like
she was also 2 tables down from us,
literally, like,
and we were talking about representation. Like none of the words were inappropriate. Like it was all like we were like, this person's underrepresented, they get demonetized for their LGBT videos. That phrase upset her.
I think it literally was like, I think the line that I remember her like losing it was like, oh yeah, she does a lot for the LGBT youth. And then the climax happened. The mom literally like flew her bags over, like shoved the chair underneath her table and was like, "You've got to be kidding me. I have kids with me." And we were like, I didn't even know who she was talking to. Like I was so confused. And then she started like,
she yelled at me.
Yeah, she started going off on Jessie and like walked over and was like, "This is just so not an appropriate place to be talking about that stuff." And like I was super proud of myself. I like hate confrontation, but I pulled one of our friends, Michael, who's like really like vocal about LGBT stuff and like standing up for our community. I was like channeling him at this moment, but I literally just said, "I'm so sorry. What were we talking about?" Just straight up. And she like wouldn't answer me. She like put her like hands over her kids' ears and was like grabbing them and like pulling them. She's like, "We're just gonna move," like and like holding her tongue, like trying
conversation to have in public or something, right?
Yeah, like completely wild. And so then she just like I don't even know what she said, but she yelled at us for like easily 20 seconds, just like going off. Like imagine just like an angry mother like reprimanding her kids. Like that's what she was doing to us for like at least 20-30 seconds. And we were both just like, what is happening right now? I said nothing.
When she attacked me, I just like froze up. He was like, "What did we say?" And I was like, I was just so like...
It was so wild, yeah.
And after that, I started sweating profusely, TMI, whatever, and started literally like, I started crying. Like, I didn't know how to respond. Like, I've never dealt with that in my life, like to that extent, bluntly to my face.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's
neither
different.
have I. We're both super lucky. I mean, we live in LA, so I feel like it isn't as bad as people experience in other parts of the world.
And we have friends, good support system, like, etc.
We're so lucky for that. But it was the first time that I had ever experienced something like that. Like, obviously in like high school and like growing up, you know, I'd have like side comments. Like growing up, like I'd have people in passing or like people that would like say rude things to me, but like it never was like a direct thing or an aggressive thing. But this was the first time that it was like aggressive, and even more so that it was from a mom.
That's what I was
just wild. Like,
we both love our moms and like
love moms.
We love moms.
Love moms.
I always smile at moms when I walk past them. Like, I think it's almost like an acknowledgement of like, oh, like, you know, like I appreciate what you do. Like, I guess I don't know, but
she looked at us like we were evil. Straight up.
Yeah. And like for some reason, like the fact that she was a mom affected me more, because like your mom feels like home to you, and like I don't know, I just like have always grown up like smiling at moms, and like they've always felt, even like when I'm, you know, in a new situation and I'm a little nervous, like I've, you know, like moms are the ones to suddenly like get maternal and like kind of take you in for a bit, and like that's like even other people's moms in my life.
We have
like,
several moms.
Exactly. Like that's always been like their roles in my life, and like
we're not saying this to knock moms at all, because like we love moms, but that's why it's like even a next level of like flusteredness, because we were just so caught off guard.
But
still
like
caught off guard.
we weren't like let's make all the kids gay. We were like, my friend doesn't get the representation she deserves because she gets demonetized. Nothing inappropriate at all about that phrase. What about just imagine if it wasn't LGBT? She would have never said anything. Imagine if it was just like, my friend's videos always get demonetized.
Like, like the only equivalent it could have been to hetero culture would have been us being like, oh, this person makes video about straight youth. Like, that's literally what it was. Or like, oh, Rolling Stone wrote an article about like Cardi B. I mean, literally it was Shawn Mendes this time, but like someone writing an article about how one person was straight. Yeah.
We're on vacation, we're somewhere new, and we're like, we've both, I don't know, this is like it's just like, I've never dealt with that, and it was so, I'm mad at myself for freezing up partly, but I'm happy because now I'm using my platform to talk about how I feel and how it affected me, so that hopefully others can educate.
Yeah. And just like the fight is not over.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, but that was insane. Wow, like that happened. Yeah. I don't know anything else that happened after.
I'm trying to think. I feel like if anything we could add like more examples of how it would be different if it was straight, or...
Oh yeah, so after that we walked around, I literally was still crying at this point. I'm really sensitive. And
she moved her kids. She made a huge scene in the mall. She like
kids.
Walked over, was like talking to her husband. Like fully, we felt so like what's the word? Just like, for
like
lack of better words, I don't know. Like everyone was like looking at us like we did something horrible, and we were
alienated.
Alienated. Yeah. It's so confusing. I felt like I was in high school.
Yeah, I know. I hadn't felt like that, and I like, again, like with confidence, that was such an intelligent conversation, and it was something I talk about in my videos, like, and I just, like, I thought it was so crazy. Like, I'm literally, like, such a, like, clean-cut 19-year-old. Like, I literally go to sleep at 10 p.m. and, like, watch cartoons, and, like, I've never, just because of how we identify, like, and, you know, us just talking about, like, people in our lives that matter, and wanting, you know, even, we weren't even talking about wanting representation. We were talking about how appreciative we were for the representation that we get. We
were just talking about life.
Yeah.
And just honestly, also a lot of our conversations lead to perspectives. Like, we were just having this really long conversation 2 nights ago before dinner about, like, what was it, like, sociology, and like how, like, where you grow up like affects, like, so much. And so we are always, like, aware of, like, perspectives, because everyone has so many different perspectives. And I think that was honestly the conversation, because it was the Shawn Mendes conversation, like how he was, like, you know, having to defend himself for being straight, and, like, it's crazy, like, that there's that perspective. And then we were talking about, like, the YouTubers that represent the LGBT community online, and, like, just so many different perspectives. And I guess, like, you know, obviously we were talking about LGBT perspectives, and that's what, like, set her off.
Yeah. So anyways, after that all happened, good point, I was very, like, I was very upset that I hadn't stood up for myself, and I wanted to just somehow take my experience and grow from it to make sure that maybe in the future I am able to stand up for myself, and hopefully other people are as well, because I think we deserve that right. As human beings, and we're not harming anyone.
Yeah, and even, you know, for someone who might be watching this, like, if you're not yet, like, you know, comfortable with that, well, no, I was gonna say, like, if you're not comfortable with the LGBT community, fine, but I don't think that it's fair to be mean to them.
Yeah,
like, if you know, if you have different viewpoints, like, that's fine. Another perspective. Like, we've also talked about that a million times, how, like, there's still people that just, like, don't get it, and, like, that's totally fine as long as you're a nice person. Exactly. But like this woman could have just, like, you know, moved, taken her kids, but, like, she yelled at us. She fully yelled at us. And it's like, you know, thankfully we're comfortable enough in our own skin that, like, we were able to, you know, shake it off, like, talk about it. But, like, imagine if it was, like, some, like, teenagers who were, like, on vacation that, like, you know, we're talking about something for the first time or something, and she yelled at them. Like, that would be such a, like, big impact on them, I feel like.
It's crazy. Can't fathom it. And also, like, I'm not one to say what's good parenting, what's not good parenting.
Yeah,
but for me, neither of us are. Like, we're still learning things ourselves. But, like, I would say for some reason it hurt me to just, like, see her, you know, these young kids, like, the new part of the new generation, like, getting raised this way. Like, those, you know, just, like, only seeing things through a filter, black and white, this is good, this is bad. Like, you can't even, you know, like, this is out of the question, like, or even, I don't know, or even, like, talking to someone that identifies this way, like, fully, like implementing that in a child's brain.
Yeah. Did we already talk about how we love moms?
So alienating. I think we did.
In this take,
we love moms.
We lost the first version.
We love mothers.
We love moms. We have several mothers.
Yeah. I'm, like, very grateful that my mom, you know, I was grateful that my mom raised me in a way that, like, you know, like, hang around people that make you feel good, that are nice, respect.
And further to that, like, from this mother's perspective or her family's perspective, like what if one of her kids is, you know, part of the community? Like, that's like so scary. So the kids were on my angle, she had the mom's view angle, and then I saw the kids 2 tables down, like, down that way. And, like, they fully, like, were not paying attention to us at all. And then when the mom, like, started, like...
They also didn't say any words that could be repeated that would be bad, like, bad words.
The kids literally, like, had no idea what was happening. And then, like, the mom started getting all aggressive and, like, grabbing them. And they were, like, so confused. And it's just, like, imagine if they were
It just kind of reminded me that, like, I don't know,
they weren't that young. They were, like, 8 or 9. You know, I mean, that's super young, like, relatively. But, like, you know, they could very, like, well, maybe already, like, questioning it. Like, I know I was, like...
Or they could be even worse, like, bullies, which is horrendous to think about, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it also reminded me of how, like, innocent kids are, and how they're, like, you know, they're impressionable, and how, like, how important your upbringing is, but also, like, how much, you know, you can challenge that.
And I think, like, if you know, again, like, if those aren't part of your beliefs, like, all that the people from the community ask, I think, I mean, obviously I would love everyone to be like, celebratory and like supporting of the LGBT community, but
and
at
obviously
least
we
tolerance.
can't speak for the whole community, but I'm sure we all.
Right. If she had just taken her kids away and like had not made like a huge scene about it, like I feel like that's tolerance. Like if you're gonna do anything, like that's fine. But to like reprimand and like scold someone in public, like, and like we don't look that old, like
no,
you know. She would have done it. Yeah,
like,
she would have done it to a teenager, and so it's just like I don't know. It's just scary because you never know like how that will affect like impressionable kids. I don't know, I feel like the only way to progress is to like teach the youth to at least be tolerant of everything. You know.
That's why we're making this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the points you want people to get from this video?
Ooh. That gays are
You go
awesome.
first. We're stylish.
Yeah.
We're like, she's upset we're stylish.
Yeah, she's mad. That education is super important.
Yes, agree.
Understanding people's perspectives is super important because everyone is so different and it's amazing. But like, I think as long as people are nice and tolerant, like that's literally it. We're not we're not asking anyone to change their beliefs, even though everyone should obviously be supportive. Yeah, I don't do YouTube, so like I don't know like what's controversial and what's not. Great. But
yeah,
I just want people to be nice.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
It's it. Yeah.
Being a nice person is not like being a nice person has nothing to do with people's beliefs. I don't think.
No. And I really want everyone to be tolerant, and while we're still, you know, praying and hoping for the best, I would say, you know, you deserve to live freely. Obviously make sure you're safe first.
Yeah.
And just know that there's so many people that will accept you. There is a community out there. There are so many resources, YouTubers you can watch. Literally our whole conversation was about representation. There is so much representation. That's why I'm making this video. And
you know all of them. Shout out like the best ones.
Best, like,
shout out.
They're at the best. I can't do that. I'm gonna forget someone. They're just
shout out some of those, you know, supportive LGBT YouTubers.
Oh my god, my mother, Steph.
Yes.
My mom, my lesbian mother. Nothing but respect for her. Love her. Miss you. You're a doll. You're an angel. Love my mom. But yeah, there's so many people, like for me, there were so many people that helped me, and reading DMs from people saying that like, you know, my content has been like a great resource for them has been so important. And there's so many other people that are like also doing that, and just remembering that you're not the only person. And I can't imagine what it's like to live in an environment where you feel so stifled, but just I promise you that there are other people out there. There's a community waiting for you with open arms, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. I think after our shock wore off, like our main emotion was honestly just like, well, aside from being confused
and crying
and crying, but it was honestly the sadness, like to imagine that, you know, there's still people that will reprimand someone for being themselves.
Yeah, and I think insecurity, but then we had to like kind of talk it through together and be like, no, like, why are we letting this make us feel insecure? Yeah, and in the future, I hope one day I'll be able to stick up for myself. I'm proud that you were able to say something.
My first time, I'm like so not a confrontational person either, so I was shocked that those words came out of my mouth. But again,
you were like, what'd we say?
Our conversation.
She couldn't even say anything.
Our conversation was like so elementary and like clean cut and just like what are some other words? Yeah, informative. Like I was just literally
educated.
Yeah, I was literally just like, what did we say?
Mature.
Yeah, and like that, like I would never say that if it wasn't something that I was like so strongly just like confused about why she would get upset.
Like I've had some like weird conversations where I like, not weird, but like I've had some like immature, you know, like I like to joke about like webkins and like webkins. What? I like to, like, what? I don't know. I've joked about webkins and like. I like to like, you know, obviously like I like have a weird sense of humor. Like not every conversation I have is extremely intelligent and intellectual, and sometimes I just like to like laugh at we love to send each other gay memes. Sometimes we just laugh at gay memes.
Comment your favorite gay memes below.
Gay memes. And like I can like confidently say that was one of our most intelligent conversations, and I would not have changed a thing I said.
Class was in session. When we go in on like those topics, like we
we
literally turn into like students in like college. I feel like we're like we get all the details. We like hash it out.
Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this. I think this was way more helpful than a tweet.
Yeah.
I hope this helped one person out in the slightest bit, and it even just reminds you that no matter who you are, you know, this is still happening, and you have the right to defend yourself, and also you're not the only person. and there's so many people that do welcome you with open arms. Like, for me, we're on this island, and like we don't know, but like no one really stood up for us. So like it was easy for me to remember in the moment, like to forget in the moment that there are so many people that like do accept us. And like right after you FaceTimed your friend and like he was like going off, and it I feel like it helped us a lot.
Yeah.
So I hope this does the same, like has the same form of like catharsis. I love that word. Yeah.
Class is in session.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want more rants like this. This felt really good to like. Yeah, we've been ranting about this for a long time. The sun is.
I know. It's time's up. They're setting up for a wedding. I've been looking off that direction this whole time, just like the palm trees.
God is lighting up the gays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, that sounded, wait.
No!
God is illuminating the gays.
Illumination.
Look at this. Here, come in.
I'm like,
God's
catch
light.
those angles.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love you. Hope this helps a person out. And even if you're not a part of the community, I hope this like just helps you feel more accepted if someone, isolates you for like just the way you dress,
We're all about spreading positivity and niceness.
Niceness?
Not a word. Class is out of session.
It's
Class ended.
All right, bye.